Hello and welcome to your weekly news highlights with me, Hasina Momtaz. Here are your top stories from the week. On Saturday, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina invited the leader of the opposition, Khaleda Zia, again to sit for talks to resolve the prevailing political stalemate. Hasina reiterated the call hours before the BNP-led 18-party opposition is set to hold a rally in the capital's commercial hub, Motijil, where it is also due to announce the next programme of anti-government demonstrations. The Premier made the call while talking to a delegation at Awami League's Barguna district unit at the Gonobaban in the capital. Hasina also urged her political rival to stop the politics of bloodshed. She said that the BNP's plan to thwart the war crimes trial by staging such types of demonstrations would not be fulfilled. Hasina also urged the opposition to donate the money set aside for the rally to the Savar victims instead of holding the rally in the capital. Earlier on Thursday, the PM urged the opposition leader to sit down for talks whenever and wherever Khaleda Zia wanted. In response to the Prime Minister's call, BNP spokesperson Samsud-Zaman Dudu said at a press conference that the opposition party was ready for talks, but the government must extend a formal invitation to hold dialogue based on a revival of the caretaker government system. He also said that the Prime Minister should first disclose the issues that she wanted to discuss with the BNP. However, on Saturday, the BNP chairperson angrily issued a 48-hour ultimatum, throwing cold water on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's offer of dialogue. She called on the Awami League to accept the opposition's demand for restoring the caretaker system to conduct parliamentary polls. Khaleda lampooned the Prime Minister's offer, saying that the offer of dialogue is simply a drama. The government has 2 days to accept our demand for the caretaker system, she said. Khaleda issued the ultimatum while addressing a mammoth rally of her party-led 18-party alliance at Dhaka's Motijil area on Saturday afternoon. This came 2 days after Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had invited her arch-rival to sit for talks in any place in or outside Parliament to break the country's political standoff. Khaleda, in her one-hour address, said that the government's dialogue offer was a bid to foil the opposition's rally. The former Prime Minister said the next parliamentary polls can only be held under the non-party neutral caretaker administration. A protest march to be held by Hifazat-e-Islam on the 5th of May has been announced by the radical organisation's chief, Ahmad Shafi. Its Joint Secretary-General, Mufti Faizullah, read out a written statement from Shafi at a press conference at its Dhaka office. On Friday, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina urged the Chittagong-based group to call off its protests, saying the government had met most of its 13-point charter of demands. The Prime Minister's statement is devoid of any merit. She has tried to sidestep the demands, read Shafi, whose organisation is widely believed to be backed by the Jamaat-e-Islami. He claimed that Hasina's statement did not contain clear directions for implementation of the demands. Its Secretary-General, Junaid Babu Nogri, however, thanked Hasina for fully agreeing with its demand to prohibit all jokes about beards, caps and Islamic culture in the media, along with negative characterisation of actors in religious attire. The anti-Gano Jagran Manch group claimed its 13-point charter of demands were the public's demands. The organisation's publications secretary, Munir Ahmad, had disclosed that the activists of the group would take positions at 6 points around the capital, from Jattabari to Kachpur Bridge, from Jatrabari to Demra Bridge, Postogola, Buriganga Bridge, Babu Bazar Bridge in Old Dhaka, Tongi Bridge in Abdullahpur and Baliapur in Amin Bazar, in order to lay a siege to Dhaka on Sunday. Rescuers retrieved another 25 bodies from the rubble of the illegally constructed 9-storey Rana Plaza. Police say they have handed over 525 bodies so far to the relatives. Savar Model Police SI Abdul Jalil said 9 bodies have been kept at the local Adha Chandra High School grounds for identification. Over 70 bodies were recovered on Friday from the wreckage of the ill-fated high-rise, which housed 5 ready-made garment factories. These factories manufactured clothing for renowned European and American brands. Locals say over 3,500 people, mostly female garment workers, were inside the building when it caved in on April 24th. General Officer Commanding of the 9th Infantry Division, Major General Chowdhury Hassan Surawadi, said that 2,437 people were rescued from the rubble of the collapsed building. Hundreds of people holding photographs of their near and dear ones were anxiously awaiting for news of their friends and relatives. Several decomposed bodies have been sent to the morgues of DMCH and Salimullah Medical College and Hospital in Mitford. 32 unidentified bodies retrieved from the debris of Rana Plaza were buried on the 1st of May at Jurain Cemetery, with the graves numbered according to their DNA samples. Confusion continues over the exact number of people still missing since the disaster. Surawadi told reporters on the 1st of May that 149 people were still missing, but the relatives of the victims, the number of missing people is much higher. The Red Crescent charity estimates the number missing at around 400. The tragic incident has prompted widespread calls to improve safety in the industry. The European Union has threatened to reconsider Bangladesh's duty-free access to the market on the continent. Several US lawmakers also urged its government to reconsider its GSP agreement with Bangladesh. Bangladesh, which is the second largest exporter of ready-made garments after China, is an attractive destination for famous retailers due to its supply of cheap labour. The sector contributes up to 80% of the nation's export income. It has been criticised for lax security measures, poor working conditions and low payment to workers who get as little as $38 a month. The $20 billion sector has been plagued by accidents. In November last year, a devastating fire at Tazreen Fashions Limited killed over 110 workers. This followed a flurry of promises to improve working conditions and raise safety standards at factories, but little has been done since. In 2005, the collapse of another building housing a factory near the capital killed over 70 people. However, the recent building collapse has put the safety issues in the spotlight. British retailer Primark said on the 29th of April that it would compensate the Savar victims. Other companies like JCPenney, Benetton and Shears, all of which source clothes from Bangladesh, have reaffirmed their support for workers' safety and have promised to monitor conditions in the country. Media reports say that the Walt Disney Company has stopped sourcing of branded merchandise from Bangladesh in the wake of a series of factory disasters which reflect poorly on the safety conditions in these workplaces. Shireen Sharmin Chowdhury has been elected unopposed as the country's first female Speaker of the House by Parliament yesterday. She succeeds Abdul Hamid, who assumed the presidency on the 24th of April following the death of President Zillur Rahman. At the age of 47, Ms. Chowdhury becomes the youngest Speaker of the Jatiya Sangshad in the country's history. A total of 140 ruling Awami League-led Grand Alliance lawmakers and the lone independent lawmaker who were present in the House voted her in. The lawmakers of the main opposition BNP were not present as they have been boycotting Parliament since March last year. Earlier on Monday night, the Awami League Parliamentary Party nominated Shireen Chowdhury as the candidate for Speaker of the ruling party. With Ms. Chowdhury elected as Speaker, 4 of the country's top positions are now held by women. The others are Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Leader of the Opposition Khaleda Zia and Deputy Leader of the House Sayeeda Sajida Chowdhury. When she takes up the office of Speaker, Shireen Chowdhury will have to resign as State Minister for Women and Children's Affairs. She was born on October 6, 1966. Her father, Rafiqullah Chowdhury, was personal secretary to the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Thank you for watching and join me again at the same time next week. Allah Hafiz.